this week here at Get Radio, we're finding out a little bit more about the National Youth Work Week. We're speaking to various different people around various different facets about how amazing this week is. And looking forward to catching up with my next guest. Natalie Petryszyn is the head of the YPSA at Oxfordshire Youth. Natalie, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Morning, Rich. Thank you for having me.
So first and foremost, acronyms. Let's extend them and explain what that is and what that looks like in your role.
Okay, so I suppose start with YPSA, so the Young Person Supported Accommodation Service. So we're a charity, Oxfordshire Youth, and we're supporting young people between the ages of 18 to 25. And we offer a supported accommodation as it is. And you'll be speaking to Masako later, who's obviously one of our progression coaches within the service. So we support young people to build their skills, kind of building independence to move on independently. And that's mainly through supporting them into education, employment and training, another acronym, so EAT. And obviously a lot of people that come into us, have kind of, not had great opportunities, maybe need a more support in terms of giving them the opportunities to move on independently. So we do a lot of building skills, kind of building a self-esteem, confidence to support them to be, one, moving on to live independently or back to family and friends, or just to build their skills and kind of see where they want to go in the future with regards to employment, education and training.
All those things are sort of wildly important and for a lot of people listening to this, almost fundamentals and kind of obvious, but like you said, extraordinarily important. What does that kind of look like when someone arrives? What are those things, like you said, sort of building up confidence and entering into education? What sort of things happen?
So I think the first thing is to build their relationship and trust, which I know Masako is going to touch on later, just in regards to the day-to-day role. But I think it's a one-to-one support service. So everybody's individual. We work a lot with care leavers, so there's a lot of other external support that's supporting us as well. In terms of Oxford County Council. So it's about building that relationship, building that trust, and then working on a one-to-one support plan with that individual. And that can be setting individual goals with that person and working through their time that they're with us and they're kind of living independently in our 3 to 4 bedroom houses. So it can be anything from building, cooking, budgeting skills, but it is kind of weekly support. So we are looking for all of our young people to engage, to build that relationship with their progression coaches. And as I say, we're working with external services. We've got the internal support as well. It might be, building somebody to build their confidence and self-esteem to go back to family and friends and living with their parents, or going to counselling, for instance. We offer a trauma-informed approach. So we're working with a lot of young people that have had trauma in their past, and it's kind of taking that on board and applying the right approach to support them independently to kind of make changes and improve their lives.
Absolutely. And as Natalie just alluded to, we've also got Masako Ford here, who's a progression coach at Oxfordshire Youth. Now, one of the big words, thanks so much for joining us. One of the big words around your role is empowerment. And that is a great and wonderful word to kind of build up the youth of Oxfordshire with this amazing word, with that empowerment.
Yeah, well, I think one of the youth work values is empowerment. And as a progression coach, we're working with 18 to 25, so they are going to live independently after that. So it's not about making decisions for them or telling them what to do, but actually facilitating the right environment to ask the right questions for them, and they make the decisions themselves. And that for them is much more empowering, and they know that they're the leaders. So it's quite often making sure that we're being led by the young people and we're just kind of their support. We're not there to lead them,
No, exactly. This takes me back to when many moons ago, when I was in that age bracket. And you're absolutely right. It's one of the worst things to do is to be kind of told, right, that's your lane. This is what happens. You go from there. Actually, you want, dare I say, you want to learn, you want to make the mistakes, you want to just, you want to experience things for yourself and go, actually, I need to find my way. And that's kind of what that empowering is.
Yeah, and I also think it's we're on the learning process with them together. You know what I mean? It's never we know all the answers and this is how we do it. We're in it together. And that I think is really helpful to think of it that way.
Yeah, no, absolutely is. And I guess from both of your roles, and you can choose which one of you answers this one, but there must be a great sense of reward for this, because I guess people who you're helping at the start are kind of, they're in need of it. So we mentioned the sort of trauma and having a difficult start in life, which is awful. We're standing here and chatting and what have you, and lucky enough to have had a good start in life, and that's not the case for a lot of people. But actually, the end product and kind of coming out of it after, sort of either housing some of the users, or like we talked about, empowering them, that must be very, very rewarding.
Yeah, I think with the trauma-informed approach, what's really nice to see is that, for example, one young person showering once a week is equal to, another young person attending college every single day. Like, it's kind of meeting them where they're at and then seeing the progress within that, rather than having that same, like as Natalie said, it's individualistic. So it's based on the individual's needs, not this kind of whole young person approach type thing. So I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, that's really, and Natalie, maybe you could just explain the importance of this week. I mean, we're highlighting it here at Get Ready, and we're so lucky that we're chatting to lots of people from Oxfordshire Youth and beyond about the amazing thing that's happening. How important is it to celebrate this week?
I think it's really important. I think also in terms of, the good work that the progression coaches do on the front line, but generally I think as having services like Oxfordshire Youth, it really is about being there to support the young people and giving them opportunity. So it's extremely important. We all know about, the high rising cost of living, and, it impacts in terms of budget. So, it's really important to have services like this, where I think we have this approach. And it is very individualised. So we do have the great opportunity to support young people in different ways. And our outcomes, are great. We have some really good outcomes, from young people passing their driving test to young people going to university, which is just amazing to see, and being part of that journey as well. So yeah, I think it's extremely important to give one opportunity, but also for us to have that opportunity to support young people in different ways.
No, absolutely. Thank you both so much for joining us this morning. It's been a real joy to kind of find out your different roles and what you do. And it sounds absolutely amazing. And keep fighting the good fight and keep doing what you're doing. It sounds absolutely fantastic. Thank you both.